see the review very soon. Welcome to Camera Insecure. I'm Jamie Maldonado. Please subscribe and like this video if you dig it. And today we're learning about a little trick you can do that will take your photos from amateur hack to thoughtful professional with very little effort, actually. And you're going to start seeing it, and you're going to start finding it, and it's going to be really cool and useful, and it's super easy. And while Maggie digs around in this, you can see what simply using the grid overlay can do for your composition and as far as finding your uprights. Another backyard example can be seen right here, where the fence, the shrubbery change as I lower and raise the camera. And you can see the options for composition here that paying attention to your lines offers, from straightening the tree line to straightening the clothesline. And here we're going to explore what simple upright corrections can do in Lightroom. You'll notice that I made a little change on this photograph of Amanda on the upright correction by just clicking auto, and now I'm fixing the distortion using the grid overlay to align that windowsill, and I think it makes a big difference in the final composition. You might lose a little bit in the crop, but honestly it's not that bad, especially on a medium format camera or pretty much any modern DSLR. And here on this photograph of Julie in this neat empty house, we'll see a few different ways that you can correct the uprights, and I'll show an original, and I'll show a final photo that I posted earlier without these uprights, and we can compare the two. Here I'm using guided uprights, which is a thing I'm pretty new to in Lightroom. But you see, you draw these 2 points and you draw these lines along lines that in the photograph that you think should be straight. And this works really well for architecture, by the way. You'll notice a lot of things in relation to architecture and landscape that help you in portraiture. And here I'm just experimenting, trying to figure out the best alignment for this, and you'll see that I stumble onto something here with these two uprights on the left and in the middle. And of course, if you make a mistake, you just click on the little bar and delete it like I'm doing here. And here's more experimentation, and I'll try some other things. And the floor was fairly level to me, and I thought I wanted the angle, so the most important uprights were the walls and windows, and that's what I concentrated on. I got these. It didn't quite work for me. Well, yeah, you'll notice that the window went wonky in the corner there, and so I know that this is close to what I want, because it was really close a minute ago. I just didn't like how that window on the right looked. So you'll see here I'm zeroing in on that, making sure everything is nice and straight, which is what the magnifier is for. And I figure it out with this little alignment on this window in a moment at least. And I just like that a lot better. And here we have one more with Julie, which I thought was really saved by, or really enhanced, I should say, by how I treated the uprights. And I cropped a little bit off the floor here, and that's another reason I like medium format. But now I'm going to try the upright thing to it, since I'm getting better at it. And I discovered this, by the way, on Lightroom Mobile. I'm not showing it here because it's essentially the same thing, but see those uprights, and I also decided to check, and that was before my old upright correction and then the guided upright correction. But you'll also see that I I decided to play with the horizon line on the floor too, because it seemed, at first I thought it was kind of crooked because the shadow and her angle of her arm, and it may well be, but appearance can be important too. So I'm going to try another way of straightening this, and that's the crop tool. And there's this little angle. You click that ruler and you draw it across the line, much like you do to the guided uprights. And then you go back and tweak the verticals after that. And this actually arrives on something I like better than my original edit, although it's really a matter of opinion at this point. But you see a little bit more, you get a little more information on this one. You get more environment, which I like, and this is meant to be at least semi-environmental. Once again, architecture helps enhance your story, and the horizon line thing goes for landscapes with models too, as I will show you in just a moment. So here you see my original edit for this photo. I'm pretty pleased with the uprights still. And here's what you can do when you're messing with the uprights. Notice the straight street behind her, the tree that's completely upright, especially if you could see the left side better. And even she's pretty much straight upright. But you notice the fence is at a cant, and it creates a design through the photo that matches her and I think says something. And it's not like these are art, but these show the decisions you can make when you pay attention to your uprights and horizon lines. Like this one. I decided to leave kind of tombstoned to enhance the feeling of power and looking up at something large. And that also allowed me to make everything great and perfectly aligned except for that power pole. This photo loses everything if it's not upright. And this photo of Maddie reminded me of a problem I see in a lot of images, which is you have a person sitting in a corner and they don't pay attention to the upright right behind them. And even though I didn't shoot it like this, I just canted it so you can kind of see the crooked thing. You can imagine you can see the rest of the wall. Well, now look at it upright. I think it gives a sense of order and professionalism, and it's not distracting. I'm going to try to do, and date down here, a live stream where I develop rolls of black and white film with a new chemical I've never even tried, but similar to something I've tried, just to show you that it's not really that hard. You shouldn't be threatened by it, and it's something you should consider doing. And then after that, we'll also scan those negatives with a DSLR or something similar to that, and I'll have an update to my long-awaited update to my DSLR scan tutorial. So if you're into that stuff, and if you like to hear about why I would shoot film in 2018 and not consider myself a total hipster, or how you could shoot film in 2018 and not be a total hipster, and how, then join me over these next couple of weeks as we take an analog and digital fusion journey. And if you'd like to keep up with the latest news and some of my latest work, check out my Instagram profile at JamieMPhoto. That's pretty much where I am in most places too. I look forward to seeing you there, and I'll see you on Monday morning.